Hey Virgo, this is your March love reading. For Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Virgo, Venus. If you have a lot of Virgo in your natal chart, this could be for you. Remember to take what resonates, throw out what doesn't, and don't force it to make it fit. You know, this is also a general love reading, so it won't necessarily resonate with every single Virgo on the planet. I'm using the Rider-Waite deck with Modern Witch, Romance Angels, some other oracle cards. See what we come up with, the most accurate and helpful reading for Virgo for the month of March, love reading, starting with Two of Swords. So if you're facing a dilemma, Virgo, about, possibly a fire sign, but if you're facing a dilemma about where to go next, looking at options, perhaps some of you, if you're not partnered, you're looking at what's out there. Perhaps someone is interested in you who's a fire sign and you're not seeing it. For some of you there's been some conflict. If you're currently partnered, I feel as if there's been some conflict and you're unsure about how to resolve it. Unlikely having asked other people. For some of you, it's to do and linked with travelling. You might be at a distance from your partner. There could be conflict surrounding this. You're not very focused on what's coming in. I feel as if you're reflective. You're looking back over something could have happened. A difference of opinion. You're barely looking at how to resolve it. I think it's a situation that, and Virgo, you're feeling stuck. You're feeling stuck for March. Now you could have had disputes about money. You could have had disputes about spending. You could be dealing with a fire sign who's extremely charismatic, has a lot of energy, likes to spend a lot. You know, lavishiously, and you're not happy about this. But there will be a renewal here, Virgo. So there'll be a renewal because you're still hopeful that you can resolve things in, you know, in March, things that come up, difficulties, disagreements. You could be in a separation. Some of you are in a separation and you're hoping to reconcile soon. For those of you that aren't partnered, It's not the main thing on your mind. I don't feel them. If there's someone who's interested in you, I don't even think you're noticing, to be honest. I don't get the feeling that you're really seeing them. Or not very clearly. I mean, you see yourself as being very brave. You see yourself as being optimistic. You're probably feeling quite courageous and better the devil you know. So I feel that someone is quite besotted with you. There's just, going to be some difficulties. And, I'd say minor disputes and arguments, really, nothing major, but it puts you in a place where you spend too much time, Virgo, sometimes just dwelling on the times in this coming month. You'll be spending too much time dwelling on things that aren't running smoothly. You're going to have to take time out there. You're going to have to understand that some things don't magically resolve themselves, and given time, given patience. They will. The situation going down for you in March will work out quite fairly, ultimately. Now, for some of you, you've had a breakup. You've had an argument that separated you. And you want your just desserts. And you're very hopeful that you're going to get an apology. For some of you, your partner's in the doghouse and you're not budging, and you're going to wait for an apology before you do anything in March. And I feel it's linked to money and could be travel. Feel like until you resolve it, whatever gets resolved, this fracas, you're going to be feeling a bit uncomfortable. Now, it could be reversed. It could be your partner who requires the apology. And reverse the energies. But I feel an apology has to come through, and it will come through once it's acknowledged that it needs to come through. Now, those of you who aren't partnered, I feel like you did lose a bit of faith in that arena, in your dating life. For some of you, there's a couple of people who have you know, having a bit of a contretemps over you. You know, like wanting both of these people want you. And for others of you, you've been flirting with two people and you don't know which one you want. Some of you, you're not feeling that there's enough chemistry going on. Maybe you're not feeling playful. Maybe you're not injecting fun into it and it's become a little bit serious. Virgo. Yes, because once you acknowledge there is a reason for things, you know, everything that does happen, you're going to stop looking at things so negatively. You know, bumps in the road, they happen. You know, again, you might be feeling fearful. You know, worry. Because of worry, it's exacerbating, you know, an argument or a disagreement, and you're up in your head about it. This could be, you know, a big problem here. That, you know, in March there's going to be disagreement. You're going to be dwelling on it for too long. You're going to worry about it. You want it to be resolved, but because you're concerned, waiting on an apology that you might not get, and it will reverberate around your head. You know, you need to stop having limiting beliefs in your ability to resolve problems that arise. You know, it could be vice versa. This could be your significant other who becomes overly anxious whenever there's a bump in the road. And you're the one who has a lot more hope in being able to resolve things. And you could have offered apologies. You know, in March you could find yourself in this place where you'll be looking back going, but I've offered apologies. I have tried to resolve this. And because you're generous in this department. In March you're going to be generous. And perhaps to the point, Virgo, where you'll take it on the chin and say, well, okay, you know, it was my fault and I shouldn't have done A, B or C. To let your partner off the hook, as it were. need to also remind yourself about your, you know, your inner beauty, why your partner is attracted to you, why you're together, why it works, you know. And if you're unpartnered, you need to refocus on your, you know, your better qualities. You know, tell yourself that you're fair and you're kind and you know, you're brave, you're able to take risks. Perhaps you haven't for some time. You haven't been feeling it. You definitely need to get out of that retrospective mindset. Overthinking. Over-analysing is not going to be helping you in March at all. You know, you're going to want to be in this energy where you're prepared to be more playful, more risk-taking, more, you know, more Aries, more able to say what the hell, you know. We get into situations where we can't be in agreement with everybody all of the time. It would be an unrealistic world. But we can work out solutions. Some of you, not all of you, might be heading or going to the courts to have a divorce. But I think that's a minority, and that's taking its toll on you. You need to express yourself, and you need to also have quiet time in March. Because I feel like many of you are under pressure because you've got a lot to cope with. Could be linked to your work. And because of that, additional issues in your romantic life are not at all conducive, you know, to your peace of mind. So you're going to, one of you, I feel that there's an apology coming in, or that you might well find yourself having to apologise in the case that this is a resolvable issue. In the case it isn't, then you're going to take action to do something about getting out of it. And with those of you who aren't partnered, I feel you want to be, but I don't think you feel that you're quite ready, because I think there's things you need to heal as well. Also, for many of you, you see the possibilities of how to revive, breathe new life into something, how to revive. It's like when you have a row or disagreement and it feels like a headache. You know, you feel a bit under the weather, you feel bothered to the point where you feel ill, and that can happen. And I believe that you have a strong feeling that it can be rescued, revived, recovery. Do something out of the ordinary, perhaps. Well, there we are, Virgo. That's what I've got for you. Like, share, subscribe. leave a comment, and take lots of care. Sending you lots of love. Until next time, bye.